Welcome to the war. Okay, I'm really excited to share this. And first of all, I've got to say, for those who ever find they start projects that they never finish, uh, of which I'm definitely one of them, it's a year to the day that I posted my video from a convention last year where I bought all this stuff. And we're showing all of the buildings and the models still in their little blister packs and their laser cut wood forms and the little tuft packages and all that kind of stuff. So literally, this project took exactly a year. Technically, I finished it yesterday, but even so, I hope that's quite a coincidence. I didn't plan that, but here we are. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's get to what we've got going on here. So I finished my 3 24-point forces for Test of Honor. I'm going to get into how I plan to game with these a little later, but for now, and the sort of mini campaign that I've got in mind for them all. But I'm going to start just showing you each of the forces and what I'm planning to do with them. So here we go. Let's start with the Honda Clan. So here are my Honda Clan, and just purely from the model aesthetic alone, they're probably my favorite. So I've got here, it's based around 2 units of Ashigaru spearmen and some Ashigaru archers at the back. But I also have basically a command group here with the sergeant, the musician, and the flag bearer. And yes, I totally stylized that flag. There was no way I'm going to paint that detail freehand. I wish I could. I probably could, but I'm impatient. So enough about that. But down to the 2 command figures who are, I feel, absolutely characterful. And this one is my absolute favorite. I really enjoyed painting him. He is a named character in the, or at least on the Footsore Miniatures website. He's got a name. And then this samurai with the horned helm. I'll pick him up. Sorry. Where are we? Here we go. Again, I feel like a really characterful miniature, a lot of kind of texture and detail there, but excited to play some games with him. And yeah, as I said, they're based around the Honda Clan, and at this point, this is probably going to take some explaining. Typically, I think like most historical gamers, you get into the flavor of a period based on some interest, some knowledge, you saw something on TV, you read an article in a magazine. I didn't really do that with this entire collection. I'm going to zoom out just so we're not staring at the same thing. But I've got to say, I found this period quite difficult to frankly wrap my head around. It's very dense in term and different to frankly to European history or Western history, or even ancient or medieval history. It was a lot to really kind of just ground myself in. Despite I bought a lot of books, really tried getting into the period. I didn't find it that easy. So with that being said, why am I saying all this? And I totally blame myself for that. That's entirely on me. A huge respect for anyone that understands, grasps a lot of the concepts, a lot of the conflict, a lot of the political situation, cultural stuff that was going on at the time. So I definitely appreciate that. Where am I going with all of this? I know I'm rambling here. I didn't name any of the characters. While I based them around and loosely around their various factions that I basically read in the Sengoku rulebook, they're not too deeply rooted in anything. I did, again, having not played the game extensively, I picked forces around what some of the special rules were them for. I will get to one of the other clans that's got some shooting skills. I believe the Honda Clan has things around spearmen or Ashigaru spearmen. So that sort of influenced it. But for the whole, these are somewhat loosely based. Let's just put it that way. I certainly am not saying these are in any way historically accurate. All right, enough rambling about that. I probably should have teed up with that or not said anything at all. But let's take a look at the next clan. And on that note, ignore everything I just said, because I have taken a named character with this force of Ikko, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. They are the kind of the peasant uprising rebels of the period, or of the era of the game, definitely. They're a little more numerous than everyone else. They've got quite a few little groups here of spearmen and just kind of armored militia, but they are supported by, I believe, that's the miniature that comes with the box game. Again, a really nice sculpt. Let's turn him around, try and do this one-handed. Yeah, again, I should mention, a lot of these were painted with contrast paints. You can probably tell. Once again, I can't get off my addiction to them, but there they are. And then, yeah, I did take the Renyo, the Keeper of the Gate character, and I actually did find out some historical information around him and his kind of story. That was kind of interesting, or very interesting. And then let me bring the last guy up here, another unarmored samurai that tried to be a little more colorful, make him stand out. So these represent sort of the commoners, and I'm sure they'll use all of their mob tactics to win some games. Let's take a look at the last faction I've got. Okay, last but definitely no means least are my Oda Clan. They've got the one mounted model in the whole collection of mine, and then they've basically got 2 units of spearmen, one here, one over here. Oh, where's my finger? There. It's hard doing this one-handed. Then they've got 2 units of musketmen in the center here with the back banners. A few characters with the scouts package. You can see the sergeant at the back with the map, or at center. The scout runner on the left there, and then I thought I had another guy. Then the captain here, the mounted captain. So they're the one force that doesn't contain any actual kind of Ronin or anything like that. Again, these are great models. I separated the models out. The Oda Clan is mostly made up of Warring Clans miniatures, and this Oda Clan is mostly made up of Great for Now Games miniatures. So I think that scale-wise, they're about the same. I think the Gray for Now ones are a little chunkier, but either way, very nice. Both have very good sculpts, and they totally work together, which just leaves my one outstanding guy who I didn't really assign to a faction. He truly is the lone wandering Ronin. Is this guy here? What a cool model. So excited to see where he's going to show up in this campaign. And on that note, I'm going to talk about what the plan is for that. So stay tuned. Still with me? Good. Okay, so 3 armies all painted, or 3 factions all painted. This great table, or a very pretty looking table, all put together. Now what? Okay, so I am going to endeavor to solo game a mini campaign with all 3 factions. What's that going to look like? I've sketched out some plans. I've been working out some ways to do this, and I've basically decided I'm going to play. Each faction is going to play 2 games against the other factions each, so 2 each. One time being the attacker, one time being the defender. So basically, like home and away, if in soccer terms. So each faction will do that, and then at the end of that, again with all of that test of honor, character building, ability gaining, rules being used, we'll then have one kind of big 3-on-3 mega battle at the end. As mega battle as you can have with this many miniatures, but you get the idea. And I have already assigned scenarios, fairly sight unseen, other than just making sure I have the miniatures, the terrain is going to work. But I've assigned scenarios to each game, so we'll be able to follow along with that. And I have tried to pick some of the more original, or not, I should say original, but different scenarios. Then obviously while painting and building all of this, I was watching pretty much all of the Test of Honor content on YouTube that I could. And again, very common. I've done this myself, I'm sure. There's a lot of sort of like just the initial pitched battle or the starter scenario, whatever. I tried to not do that. And we're gonna try and play some more of the different scenarios, because there are so many scenarios between the core rulebook and the Sengoku rulebook, that I think that will be interesting to see how those play out. And on that note, yeah, I am going to be using the Sengoku rules, so each faction does have some special abilities assigned to it. The one thing though, and again, I read in the rulebook, this is totally fine, I'm not going to be using the allies component. So these factions, they're gonna stand. I'm barring any absolutely fatal accidents to any of our characters. These will be the forces that play in each game. So wait, well, let's see what happens there. I'm gonna make no promises that I'm gonna, be posting these games regularly, but I have made a what's the word, commitment that I am gonna get them all done. Put this much effort in, and I play a handful of games, I think would be a shame. So yeah, excited to get those started. Haven't decided which game I'm going to play first. If anyone's got a preference, or of which two forces they'd like to see battle it out, do let me know. I don't think it really matters. They'll all get made eventually, or they'll all fight each other eventually. And then lastly, I'm going to be solo gaming this, as I've maybe I already mentioned that, but I want to make it as fair as possible. I'm not really favoring any faction over another, but I did decide, just to make things interesting, those familiar with Test of Honor know you can act honorably or dishonorably. And I decided, based on the fact that I think this samurai with the horns looks a little evil, that this faction, when given the choice, is going to behave dishonorably. And then this faction with the heroic looking guy on the horse, even though he looks a little angry, they're gonna, when they can, act honorably. And then, just to keep things balanced between the two Ashigaru or samurai forces, the Ikko Rebels will flip a coin on that, whether they act honorably or dishonorably. So yeah, look out for the first battle soon. I'll try to get that played as soon as possible. Holidays are coming up, so that's always a little bit of a challenge, and that's okay. But these are quick games, so I could probably do it after work or something like that. And I'm sure I'll be distracted by other hobby endeavors. I haven't forgotten about my Wars of the Roses stuff. I've already got my eye on another era or period to sink my teeth into. So watch this space for that. But for now, let's get some katanas clashing. Let's do it. So thanks for watching, and happy gaming.